Good evening. Welcome to the Hot Seat. Here we have our pledge. This is the Community Love Hub presents our Hot Seat Cipher, a therapeutic circle that uplifts, guides, and heals young men by uniting youth and elders in a safe place, culturally grounded space where one young man at a time is invited to share his struggles, hopes, and questions. In the hot seat to be heard rather than judged. Received honest counsel, lived experience, emotional support, and connections to mental health, educational, and community resources. More than a conversation, it is a living practice where elders reclaim their roles as teachers and protectors. Healing becomes action and a strong sense of brotherhood helps each participant grow into a confident, grounded leader with a promise that no young man sits alone. He is seen, supported, and guided toward the best version of himself. With that, welcome to the hot seat. Thanks.
What's good? First and foremost, I'd like you to, state your name, talk to the people, tell the people a little bit about yourself real quick.
My name Mike. Uh, go by real name Michael. Got a few nicknames I go by other than that, but I grew up southeast uh, in a rough neighborhood. Came up watching people that I thought was cool back then. Uh, you know, became a product of my environment at some point. I say, mm, I don't really know. I'm, Me today, who I am, is someone looking for change and trying to change others, uplift anybody I can, doing my part to repay for the damage I caused.
All right. Well, first and foremost, before we even get into that, right? Um, Tell me some things you like to do now, or that you like doing as a kid coming up, and then some of the things that you like to do now.
As a kid coming up, I, I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of it really was a blur. I don't really remember too much fun coming up, uh, other than doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. Uh, I enjoy now the feeling of being able to help people or just achieving stuff. Mm, I like music. Time like lately though, I've been falling out of love with it. I was speaking with brother Carlos earlier, for some specific reasons, because when I do it now, like at one point in time, I did have a passion for it and a dream, to, do something with it. But the things I talk about, he told me some things I already kind of knew in a sense. Your words are very powerful, and I know that. So it's like what I talk about in my raps and stuff like that. It's just stuff that I done seen and been through, and I be going through. So the only time I really do it now is just it's like an outlet for me, like therapeutic. I just do it to express myself. I don't talk a lot, so like when I do talk about stuff that's real that I'm going through, uh, it's through my raps.
Mm. You consider yourself an introvert?
Yeah, I could be an outrovert from time to time. Sometimes I gotta get outside, but most of the time, once that's out my system, my social battery go low, and I go back in my shell.
Nah, I get it. That's about like me, man. I'm an introvert, I guess by nature, but because of doing business and stuff like that, I had to find myself being out and making myself talk to people. I kind of got used to it now, but I do enjoy my alone time. You know.
Been learning to gravitate towards it too as well, especially with the line of work I'm interested in, passionate about. It involves a lot of that. Lately, working with brother Frank, brother Chuck. you know, and the ones that I like program that I went through, it opened my eyes to a lot of that, you know. So
Speak on that a little bit, brother Chuck, brother Frank, who they are, and what type of program, and what type of influence that
yeah,
they have on you.
I've been knowing Brother Frank for like a while now. I think he been knowing me longer than I know him. Now that I'm starting to realize he been watching me, been trying to tap into me and put some in my ear, but like I wasn't listening at first. But, you know, he tell me all the time he see something in me. You know, I ain't never really seen myself. I always had a feeling like I'm special or something like that, but I don't like I don't know. I just sometimes I doubt myself a lot too, but I be needing reminders and stuff like that. So you know, I've been tapping in with him, following his path. He been bringing a leader out of me that you know turning that I always kind of been, but like he making a positive out of it, like you know flip my negative to a positive. So I help him out time to time whenever he need. He helping me. I tap in, try to follow his footsteps and do what he do for me, and help him, give him a little help from time to time when he allow me to with the younger ones that's younger than me.
That's what's up, man. What type of things?
Yeah, a couple little things. It allowed me to go tag along with like football games and stuff like that. Book bag, had me run a book bag, give out, you know, back to school, you know, stuff like that.
How do you feel doing that?
You feeling good? Feel good.
You recently shared something with me. You actually got your GED, right?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
When I first did it, it was like a weight off my shoulder. Like I finally did it, but like right now, as of now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like a lot of people around me want to celebrate me for it, and you know they excited about it. I ain't as excited about it. I was just ready to get on to the next thing. At the moment, I was.
Okay.
It felt good, like man, yeah, I'm knocking stuff down, moving up. As Brother Frank would say, you know that little 10-yard line, I made it.
That's right.
Got down the field a little bit more, but like my mind wasn't knowing, like sat around. I'm just ready for the next thing.
Yeah. Respect. Not stay in the moment, but now move forward on something.
Yeah.
I heard you say earlier you were speaking about some of the negative things that you used to do when you was young. You didn't actually get to have fun. Share some of those things.
Yeah, I definitely had fun, but like, as far as like having a childhood, like really having fun as a childhood, I don't really remember all of that. Like I can name some things, but like it's really a blur. Like my fun was outside, running around, being bad, you know, being places I shouldn't have been, hanging around people I shouldn't have been hanging around, you know, doing wild stuff. Like used to go down gallery place or something like that, just doing bad stuff, stealing, probably getting into fights and stuff like that.
The reason why I ask is because you have a group of youth now, and most of these people are labeling them as bad,
Yeah.
but they're not. We're seeing fights, certain things happen in different parts of the city, and it ain't that the kids are bad.
Don't got no guidance.
No guidance. And what I'm hoping for, even asking this question, is that what you say may trigger something in their mind to make them think.
What you asking? What do you think I would say that I think that would trigger something in their mind?
Yeah, we're having this
Like-
conversation, or me asking the question, just hearing you say that these are some of the things that you've done,
Yeah.
you like fighting or just moving around, what it'll do, it'll make them think by hearing you say it. Because you done grew older now.
It depends on who I'm talking to, because like I said, I was hearing it, but I wasn't going in one and out of the other. It took for me to be ready and like, you know what I'm saying, for me to actually want to take in and really observe. Like, it took me to mature to really understand what I was hearing. I ain't get some stuff without trials and tribulations. It's like a metaphor. You ever listen like to an old song and like you heard it back then, but it ain't hit you how it did until you actually knew what that was he was talking about or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I feel like a lot of people learn and grow at their own pace. And some people a little bit harder to get through to, not saying that like, you know, it ain't nothing to be said or shown that can go around that. It's loopholes to it, but like a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, you just gotta figure your ends with people, your way in.
I wanted to ask, because you speak, about, Brother Frank, Brother Chuck, how important is it to have mentors and positive influences? And if you could speak to the youth that's looking, that's watching, how do you recognize a positive influence? And what are some of the signs that you would say, look out for this and say yes to this mentor because they're present? Like, was it a point growing up, was the positive influence in the environment, or what? Or did that come later in life? Like you say, you took some time to mature and to receive that. So,
It took for me to actually want something better, like, and like I would say like somebody trying to do something for you and they ain't like, they showing you every reason, giving you every reason why they doing it for you and not for them. You don't see them as for nothing like that. Like, that's a good person. Like, it took for me to want to really live for something to trigger me. Like, I had a couple different wake up calls. Like I had the one for my son before I wanted for myself. Like a certain thing. Like, I always wanted, but like the reality hit when he came and stuff like that.
So that was your pivotal moment right there.
Yeah,
How old was you when you had your son?
I was 25.
25. And how old is he now?
He about to be 5 in October.
congrats.
Yes,
Yes. No, that's dope. No,
Yeah, was there something I'm missing from you?
No, that was good. I was going to build on that because usually it's funny. Like, why? I was going to ask to all of us, why does it take certain things like that? Like, even for me, when I had my first son, something clicked. Right, a focus. I got a focus, more clarity. Even though we may have had mentors in the background here and there, but it took for, like you said, certain trials and tribulations, or for me, like the son to come into the world to say, hold up, this is bigger than me. Why does that usually have to take place? Because now, as the world is going, you see, like you said, they got curfew out for the youngest. They out 16 years old, how can we get to them before they even have a son to recognize, this, I want better for myself? What kind of approach should we be taking for the babies?
I haven't figured that one out yet. I don't really have an answer yet. But hopefully, next time I talk to y'all, I can have it. Only thing I could think of is, I really don't know now, because people got their mothers. You should really want to do it for your mother, like the ones around, the ones that love you, but sometimes it take a little bit more than that. Like, something that come from you. I don't know. And then sometimes it go back to the people's support system. So like, don't get me wrong, people will have a good support system and still, not really think about them. I don't know. I really don't. I'm sorry.
No, I pose that to the room. Yeah.
What's up, bro? My name is Will. I answer to that question for real, because I know some youngers that's like still like, I feel like even if you in their environment and you like trying to mentor them and they, are you from Southeast, right?
Yeah.
Like and you were Southeast and you trying to mentor them there. When I was like 13, 11, 12, and I'm out doing basketball, it felt fun. Like it was like more so, even though I know I'm not supposed to be doing it, but that's what made it fun. I'm not supposed to be doing it and I can do it. So for me, what I noticed, like, when you take them, like, let's say, like, because I got an uncle, like, he have a charter buses, and he'll take a bunch of youngers out, like, Alexandria and all that, so they can see a different type of life. You see what I'm saying? Like, when they, even if you talking to me, and somebody behind you selling drugs, the person to the left getting robbed, it's like, you can talk to me, but what I'm still seeing and what I'm about to go to sleep and wake back up to is that. But if you take me out of that, and I'm seeing like people walking their dogs and big fields and water and all that stuff, like it's a different type of life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They need to be
Yeah,
exposed to.
I think you just helped me realize the answer to. You gotta show people how much their life is worth. Like I didn't know how much my life worth to me until I had my son. Because without me, it started with me. I gotta be here, be healthy, and have everything in order and make it happen for him. So you gotta like show them that like what's life really about and what they can have, and try to help them build themselves.
I think that's one of the key things. I heard that's one of the things that Minister Farrakhan says is to go out and make our communities a decent and safe place to live. So that to me is what going to change the situation in the mind frame of the people that's in those situations, right? I think it's a work that has to be done for us that's coming up in that environment, because now you're already exposed to some of the things like Will was talking about. But for that next generation, like your son, like I'm pretty sure you're exposing them to different things, letting them see different things so that he won't get caught up in that. I got a son that he made it to 17, thank God. Pray he continues to get older and become the man that God wants him to become, right? That I would like for him to see him become. But like now you're doing the work, right? You partnered up with some of your mentors, Brother Frank, Brother Chuck, right? They're trying, like even with the back to school drives and stuff like that, that's trying to make your community a decent and safe place to live. So trying to actually change these situations and the environment around us is what's going to actually shape the mind frame of the next generation that's coming up. So Will helped us, with that answer for real, because I think that's the key thing, man. Definitely keep doing that work.
Definitely. I think, we mirror each other, or we each other's mirror. So a lot of times we can see in each other what we can't see in ourselves.
Yeah.
So people look at you, and I've heard Brother Frank and Brother Chuck speak so highly about you. So I know you're a leader in the community. They tell me all your, things that they see. So sometimes, you could put a good person in a bad environment, that person will come out bad.
Yeah.
It's because he has to adapt to his environment. Like Will said, everybody doing bad stuff, you know what I mean? You're gonna feel out of place trying to do something good. You see what I'm saying? But opposites attract.
Yeah.
And like repels, believe it or not. When we do good things, people around us, it's in our nature to say, hey man, Mike could do. Mike could do. You know what I'm saying? People, you know what I mean? You might feel a little uncomfortable trying to be a better example at first, but you'll be surprised how many people admire you for standing on what's right, standing on what's good. So don't ever take yourself for granted, because I heard a lot about you. You're good brother, man. Yes, sir. And we here, so I want to make sure you stay connected. You know what I mean? If you need to get out, like Will said, hey man, bro, Rim, come get me out of here. We can go for a ride, you know what I'm saying? I'll come pick you up. We can get out the environment, yeah.
I had a question. So, you was 25 when you had your son, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think, like, the things you can do, like, to show him, like, it's a different side of life?
Just keep doing what I'm doing, loving on them, showing them things, like everything, trying to give them as much as what I didn't have. But I still, one thing about me, I'm not gonna expose my son to certain stuff at the same, like, I don't know how to explain it. I want to put everything in his face, expose him to it, but in a positive way, show him how to, like, you know, I don't really know how to put it in words.
It's like, you saying, like, you want to show him, like life can be good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but the reality, like, you know what I'm saying, it could get worse sometimes.
Yes.
I get what you're saying.
That's a balance in that right there. I'm my son, he 8, right? So there's a balance in that because on one level he what you'll call maybe socially awkward, like because he go to MUI, so he's around a certain environment, more disciplined structure, but he on sports and no slight to no public school, but it's a different behavior patterns there, right? So I'm noticing with him that he's struggling to try to relate to when he steps outside of the Muslim environment, relating to the other children. Sometimes I notice him he'll be on the bench by himself, and the other one's trying to get to know him, but he feels like, dang, if I say something, they're not gonna relate to me.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's a balance in that of trying to you show him his worth, the positive, but then it's like you said, it's a real world going on here, and there's a lot of youth that don't have the structure necessarily. How do we find that balance? And I dealt with that growing up as well, but how do we find that balance? I'm just asking for my 8-year-old son to, do I keep him on the sports team just to keep him exposed to that side of the world? And,
I feel like, my bad, I feel like, when you're not foreign to something and you will up and on knowledge on something like that, and like you can know everything that come with everything with this and that, I feel as though, like, that's what I mean by exposing them to it. I feel as though it won't be as easy for temptation for him. Like, if I, just put everything in his face, don't sugarcoat nothing with him, like, tell him how it's gonna be, how it is. I can show him facts about what I done been through, I done walked through it for him. That he ain't gotta do it.
I think for me, it's just son 5. I think back on my son when he was around that age. Probably when he was about 8 or 9, living in Richmond. So I found my purpose a little early. Well, I don't want to say a little early, but I found my purpose. One of my purposes was to attempt to do what Brother Frank and Brother Chuck is doing, right? My son had never been exposed. I used to go to some of the projects in Richmond, Creighton Court, Mosby, Gilpin, places like that, and because it was a lack of, I used to go out there and take bag lunches to the kids. That's one of the things I was known for. So a couple of times I left my son home when I wanted to go do it. But I got to the point where like, nah, why I'm leaving? He need to see what I'm doing. He need to see, because the whole time when I'm out there, I'm around a bunch of kids, right? And I was like, I need my son to come to see that everything ain't gold around, right? He got a chance to see other kids that was his age and that were having fun and laughing and playing and stuff like that, but he got to see the environment that they were in, right? Versus where I had him at, right? And he got to see those things. So he learned and appreciation for what he had throughout that, right? But it also made him compassionate too, because then I noticed when we would go somewhere or we was doing something. One time, what really stood out to me is somebody, it didn't have nothing to do with the kids in private, but we were out somewhere and it was a homeless guy, and we were riding by, and he was like, "Dad, stop." And he took, I was like, "What you just start?" He's like, "Stop, Dad, stop." He was a little guy then. And he went in his pocket and he had $10 that I gave him. And he took the $10 out and he gave it, wrote the money in there and gave it to the guy. And I let him take it and give it to the guy himself. But that dawned on me that him watching the give back and being able to interact, seeing me interact with people in a certain way, made him feel comfortable and was like, yo, this is the right thing to do, right? And gave him an appreciation, like, I have something. Because most kids, you give them $5 or $10 or something, they trying to hold on to that thing to go to the store. Or he was getting Pokemons at the time. You know what I'm saying? So for him to give up something that I gave him, you know what I'm saying, and to give it to somebody else, he felt like somebody else needed it more than he did. So that's a balance that you could give, you know, your son. Like, not letting him, because I used to tell him, like, you know, explain to him about certain things. So when you expose him to certain things, you letting them know, like, this is what it is, this is what's going on. You don't have a situation like that. You fortunate enough to have a pops that love you and trying to show you, is doing things with you, having fun with you, but some of these kids don't got their father coming to do things with them and stuff. So he'll start to look at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Man, you know, it's powerful. Yeah, I'm thinking about how, you know, the minister talk about the word father. So the word further, right? So if you throw the rock far, your son supposed to come behind you and throw the rock further than you did. And you made me think of my dad when I heard what you said. Now, my dad grew up, so I was born, so like you, in the Southwark Projects in South Philadelphia. And my dad was, you know, a member of the gang, so I grew up being around gang members. But my dad, going in and out of jail and having that jail experience, he didn't want me to have that same experience in life. So his goal was to teach me how to stay out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm in the environment, he would tell me when to step away, how to back off without looking like you weak, you know what I'm saying? Knowing when your friends are doing something that's gonna get them locked up, how not to give people or the law enforcement a track record. My dad taught me all that stuff. But it helped me, you know what I'm saying? It helped me, but at the same token, still the environment was there. So that part right there was for me to really say to myself, hey, I gotta find a way. I wanna travel. I wanna get out and do things, you know what I'm saying? I wanna get out in the city. You know what I mean? And I just started going to places. Even if it was 50 miles away. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Atlantic City, let me go to New Jersey, let me go to Harrisburg. And I just started going outside of Philadelphia. And then by the time, you know, like most of us, I was hustling. When I started getting a little bit of money, I started taking trips. I started hitting the West Coast, but it broadened my horizon until when I reached a certain level of maturity, I said, hey, I want out the game. You know what I mean? I want to be myself. I want to go all the way positive, but I had seen enough places where I knew I could go somewhere else and just change my life. You know, do a whole 360. Because sometimes that's what it takes. You know what I mean? You being around the same people, you know, you gotta change that. You gotta change that environment. You know? It's sad because you don't want to leave your homies, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, you gotta protect you and your son. And you should be, you know, it's okay to think outside that box and say, hey, I don't have to bring my son. I can produce a better life for my son. So the one who prescribes the diameter of your knowledge controls the circumference of your thinking. So if you can show your son, hey, it's something way bigger outside of Potomac Gardens. It's a big world out here. We start showing you something. That's gonna broaden his horizon, and he'll take off from there. Yeah.
Just to piggyback on everything y'all said, especially Will and what Brother Raymond just said, and even yourself. What I'm hearing is you already know what the environment looks like where you're at.
Yeah.
Find a thriving black community. Walk 'em around. I think they got some in PG, right? That's thriving, big houses, but it's black people. Walking around those, if you can, just take them out there and let them see the houses. Let them dream. But amongst his people, I ain't saying don't take them and let them see other white people and other things too, but you want him to see that black people do this.
Yeah.
Because exposure, one thing exposure does is in your community, he already seeing most of the stuff that you're talking about. You're gonna show him this, and this, but then let him know the opposite side, that there's a greater side. Not that this is bad, but you'll get stuck in a mindset staying here.
Yeah.
But if I take you amongst the people who's doing some doctors, black doctors, big houses, they know, hey, he get to say, man, I can own this.
That's right.
This can be mine. And I can have friends that I connect with that can have the same stuff because I can be the leader in my family and have it in everybody or in my community, and everybody can shift. But it is exposure that get people from one stage to the next. For me, prison exposed me to something. Not just that I can go and do prison time, but it exposed me to the fact that my freedom means more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
I got to see two sides of the joint because when I came home, I started realizing, yo, freedom ain't free. You got to put work in to keep this stuff sometimes. That means for me, because I was used to selling drugs. So if I come back out here and I jump back into the same thing that I used to do, I find myself, I just paid a debt and I'm about to find myself paying another debt. I had to go to work.
Yeah.
But the freedom that I got, even when I left my job, when I went from selling cars to selling, to doing tag and title work, I got a level of freedom back. My hours.
Yeah.
Selling cars, you spend all your time selling these cars, and you sit up in this job like, yo, it didn't bother me because I'm making money. But when I was exposed to doing tag and title work, went from 9 to 9 to 8 to 5, all of the evenings off, then your weekends off. I gained a level of freedom. To when I left that job, when they fired me and I quit, to me leaving that job and gaining all my time back for myself, I learned what freedom really looks like. And there's even a level of freedom that I'm chasing now.
Yeah, facts.
Well, I ain't even got to do all this work,
Yeah.
but what we get to do is do the community work that we actually trying to do. Or not trying, that we are doing. Let me get rid of this word. That we're doing, but times 10. But everything is exposure and contrast. When you get to take your life and see the contrast of something, that's him going and seeing what y'all's community looks like. But imagining him thinking of what his community can look like, but it exposes something to you. It makes your mind grow. You walking around the community, understanding that you can own that. Or that you can change your own community into that. Because you ain't even got to leave. What Prince was saying about the minister. We can change our communities into better.
You know what, on that note, Carlos, I just want to clap up for all the brothers who decided to make a change.
Damn man,
You know what I mean? It takes courage, man. You know what I mean? To stand up in your hood. But I see, I know where you come from, you know, to stand up. But I learned one thing, standing up shows you're a leader.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Doing what's really in your heart, you'll be surprised. Your homies, they thinking the same thing. And they sitting back, everybody trying to act hard to keep doing the bad stuff. But they really, they deep down inside, they watching you because you standing on principle.
You give them
stand on principle. They say, man, I got a big. I'm rolling with Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
You give them strength.
Yeah, you give them strength.
Because in order to stand up in that environment, man, it's really, like I said, it's God. He just tapping on everybody's shoulder, right? And so you just want to pick up the call, answering it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try harder, God. I'm gonna try. And everyone is watching you to see. You got someone's gonna watch to see if you're gonna fail. They give them an excuse to not do. But the other one's gonna watch to see if you can do it. Then I can do it too. And keep going through it, bro. You know, I know the brothers you work with, you know, this entrepreneur life and doing for self is all about tapping within. And your son is gonna see that, like, that exposure piece is key. You know, like, and you mentioned it too, you know, just telling them what it is. Like, we ride, and I showed him one time, like, listen, you see how many liquor stores in the community you encountered with him. And then I just pick his brain. What do you think that's for? And then, so I always put him in the mindset, because he's young, like, you're a superhero. And then I expound on what type of superhero powers you got. And then we just go out and, like you said, exposure. Now, he be wanting to give his lunch to the homeless man that's be on the street all the time. But that strength you exude, bro, they watching. And your son is watching. And that's just, you just answering the call of God, man. And we all got to keep on and stay consistent in doing so, because it ain't easy. I hear those, bro. Freedom ain't, bro. It's not easy, because you got to get up and work every day. You know what I'm saying? And it's a world that's trying to keep you from doing that. But if we could continue to do what we're doing and building, now you're gonna, the strength you exuding is gonna be another brother in your community that's like, you know what, Mike, tell me a little bit more. Then y'all get together, and then we just keep getting stronger and stronger. Then we can link up from hood to hood and do our thing. So yeah.
And another point.
I just wanted to ask, you mentioned brother Frank, brother Chuck, right? Are those the first positive role models that you've seen or had in your life? Or if not, then how many have you had?
I want to say no. I'm pretty sure I had other people, but like they, especially brother Frank, he popped up like at a time where like it couldn't have been more like crucial and like, you know, more important, to the point that it stick with me. And then it's not that recent, but like it's been recent. Like I've been, like I said, I had an urge for change when I had my son almost 5 years ago, when I first had him. But I really been changing to this and really becoming this probably a little over a year ago. So like this kind of, it's not new to me, but it is like how hard I've been going lately, like, or like how heavy it's been on me. Like I was really going through something before it all happened. Like I was in the dark place, depressed, broke, stressed. Like still am kind of struggling right now, trying to make everything happen. And you know, do all this at the same time, keep on right. I'm not perfect. I be falling. Like I that's one of my goals, to try to get more consistent with it, and struggling, trying to keep up with it, being able to be there for the brothers and the youngins too. Like whenever he allowed me to come tag along with him and stuff like that. But they the ones I could really, other than anybody that came after them, as like the program I've been in, real for real, they kind of the most positive ones, or the ones that really stick out like a sore thumb, that I could just, no matter what or who I'm talking to, like even if he went right here in my face right now, I'm gonna say his name.
Right.
I wanted to ask real quick, if you had to pinpoint, because you said something about, you know, music at one point, what is it now that you're in love with or passionate about, or what are your many talents, you would say?
Other than music, it's this, real for like just trying to make better myself and be here for my son, like being transformed into the best man I could become, you know, for him, and just doing something like, I don't know, there's just something about it when I do it. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I ain't perfect. So I tend to fall sometimes, fall back, or stumble. I ain't gonna really say fall, but you know, it's just something about when I do something and we have success with anything that we doing, like we feeling good. So like,
Key is don't give up. You know what I mean? And don't, regardless of what. You know, I heard you talk about dark place. I remember being in a dark place. You know what I mean? For years, I had to, you know, really fight to come out. And I realized there were certain things that I was doing that kept me in that dark place. You know what I mean? That made me depressed. You know what I'm saying? So when I got all by myself, it's like, oh man, then I start self-sabotaging.
Isolation.
And man, you ain't worth nothing, man. And next thing you know, I'm self-destructing, right? Now I look back on those years and I see what I was doing to put myself in that dark place. So there's nothing more powerful. I'm gonna keep it 100 in a black man when he make up his mind.
You got no problem than a made up mind.
Change everything around.
And I
So
gotta,
we here, in other words, don't think you gotta do it by yourself. See, Brother Prince, Brother Lowe's, we help each other. We here to help each other. And you can't do this all on your own. So it's the same way, like when you in that environment, and you see you got a whole bunch of people around you negative, and that you know brothers that's doing something positive, like Brother Frank, Brother Chuck, keep doing what you're doing, come out, you know, you'll see, after a while, you'll start to feel better and better and better about yourself. And don't get into, like, me and Will, we be talking about fasting. Will hit me up, like, yo, but I'm a fast. I'm like, huh? All right, let me jump in with you. But we get high. Am I lying, Will? That's a whole nother high. I never, you know, in the hood, we never knew about that. We just thought I had to either snort some heroin or smoke some coke or whatever to get high. But when I realized I could fast and get a spiritual high like I never felt before, better than any high I ever had, like, oh, this thing right here feel good. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother level. You start tapping into that, you'll see, man, your mind is so powerful. I'm talking about powerful, man. There's nothing you can't do. And you tap into that, go breath work, start learning how to breathe fast, man, and start to tap into that power within you. No stopping you, man. I promise. None. No stopping.
another thing, quit saying you ain't perfect.
That's right.
You're the best version of you that you have ever been. The way I look at perfection, that doesn't mean it stops. In the next 10 minutes, you'll be even better. But you are the perfect version of you for this moment. That's all the perfect means. It doesn't mean next moment I ain't gonna be even more perfected. But as of right now, have it ever been a better version of you? You got more information. You can do whatever you want to right now. In the next 10 minutes, you're gonna have more information. But it's only for the moment. The perfected part is only a moment. When I learned to stop saying that I ain't perfect, even when people say that I ain't, in their minds or for themselves, it bothers my spirit because I do understand that you are. God knows the end result. He also knew what part of you was going to exist in this moment. The perfect version. It's your spirit that is changing. You're becoming a better version of you every day, but that's only perfect for the moment. The things that you're working on within yourself, what he just told you was assessment. He assessed himself. You have the ability to look at the things and say, you know what, this ain't working. Me, I got a few things I'm working on myself. I need to eat a little bit better. I can take out sugar. I can take out drinking sodas. I get rid of those. My body turn into whatever I want it to be. But learn to just assess, remove, replace. You're perfect.
We go with what he just said too. Just remember this helped me a lot. we have a lesson that says, why isn't the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth? Because the original man is the God owner of the earth and knows every square inch of it and has chosen for himself the best part. He did not care about the poor part. So in that, it's a lot of coded wisdoms. But what I'm saying that for you would help me is, a lot of time we as original people, when we do something wrong, it stands out to us. And it sticks out in our mind. And so because we're righteous by nature, so we can do good stuff all day long and we don't even remember it. People are like, no man, you helped me out. You like, huh? You be trying to remember when you helped somebody out, but it's natural. So you forget it. But you can do one little thing, and you were 4 years old, nasty in the closet, you can go right back to that moment and say, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Because it's unnatural. You see what I'm saying? So it sticks out. And what we do is we'll beat ourselves up on that. We say, because every part of life, even down to the atom, has the negative and the positive charge. So we all have a negative side, but don't settle on it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't forgive yourself. And then remember, the bad things is going to always stick out because they are unnatural. But forgive yourself and focus on the best part of Mike. Because the best part is much greater than the negative.
Just to piggyback on what he just said. Two coins, there's two sides to each coin. Heads is positive, tails negative. Can you see both?
No.
You can only see what you choose to focus on. I need you to focus on the positive. That's what he's basically talking about. Not the negative. When you focus on negative, that's all you see. You can't see but one side at a time. You know both exist, but when you focus on your positives, you start seeing more positives. They're having a thing that they said, if you buy just say a Toyota Camry, next thing you know, you see Toyota Camrys every damn where. Yeah. I forgot the name of the signs to it, but you see it everywhere. And what happens when you learn to focus on everything positive, when you wake up in the morning, I pray first before when my eyes open, I thank God. That's number one. Thank God for being here. Thank God for breath, being able to just feel, move limbs. Then what I start doing is I move into the day. And I noticed that my days start moving the way that I projected it to be. But if you wake up thinking negative, guess what happens? Steve Harvey said it like this. There's a million little cells in your mind that say, oh, it's negative day, and negativity just start rolling. But when you think positive, those same million don't see number positive. Oh, boss says it's gonna be a magnificent day. Guess what happens? Everything starts moving. What I need you to do, learn to shift your mind. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
That's deep now, because I could bear witness to that, because it was a point in time around when I had my first child, right? And I was at a low place too, depressed, right? But I was harping on a negative part of like, because I always managed like talent, right? So I started looking at myself one day, like, man, I don't have no obvious talent. I don't know what I bring to the table, this, that, and the third. But it's not until I started really just focusing on the positives about myself. That's why I asked you that question, what is it about yourself you love? That's when everything changed, right? That's like, dang, you know what? People say I give good advice, man. Let me dig deeper than that. Now, consulting, I didn't know it's a world of business in consulting. You know what I'm saying? But you have to focus on the positives about yourself, and then that opens up a whole new window, like for real. So I just could bear witness to that, because at one point I was like, man, I ain't perfect. I don't know what my talent is. It's not, I can't sing. I can't tell jokes on the stage. What do I do? And then I just started to really dig deep. My wife helped me with that though, but dig deep. And oh, by the way, the black woman, the wife, that's the cheat code. But that's a whole nother conversation. But just stay on the positive part, like what people come to you for. Looking deeper than that, start researching in that, playing that out, and then you'll realize, man, there's a whole world of business within the little aspects of your life that's positive, that you bring to the table.
I say this too, don't get disappointed
when you see negative in the world, right? Because we live in a negative world, we do. But like the brothers were saying, you the perfect version of yourself in it, right? So that is what you focus on. You focus on the positives, and then you focus on what you can do that's positive, right? With taking that thing of thinking about certain things, positive things, and then taking and putting them into action, right? One of the things Brother Wimmer said that it ain't nothing like, how you say it? A made up mind. A black man with a made up mind doesn't change anything. You know, that's been all of us up here right now. We all come up in an environment, some different than others, a little harder than others. I grew up with my pops. I was fortunate to do that. Carlos grew up with his pops. He was fortunate enough to do that. But we're all subject to this negative world and the negative things that's going on in the environment. I grew up around the drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Even though I had my pops there, that stuff was still attractive. That's right. Right? Carlos too.
Look, literally, to this point, look, I chose to do what I done. Now, you said something, man, go ahead and finish your point and I'll come back to it.
But what I'm saying is, we all have the opportunity to make our minds up and change, right? Carlos went to prison, right? And I could have went down that same road because we kind of was running in the same circles, knew the same people, right? But I ended up getting out of the streets, and the military was my route. Like it was, we all have those moments of like, I gotta do something different, right? Mine was almost losing my life, you know what I'm saying? And that moment of like, where I always say, God give you your warnings before death or destruction comes. And I took heed to mine, right? And some people never take heed to this, and they lose their life, or they end up, you know, in some devastating situations, right? But making your mind up, right, and what you want to do, right, and taking that step, take that first step. You take that first step, God gonna take the next few for you. But He just want to see you taking that step. You know what I mean? And God is within you, right? And He's within all of us. And if God is within us, and He can do anything, that means you can do anything. I don't care what circumstance you in, or where you come from, or what you didn't have, what you had a lack of, or whatever. It just takes that moment for you to say, I want different for myself. And you already took that because you wanted different for your son. So now it's the time to, when you find yourself in those dark moments, look out. If He's not there with you for the moment, pull that picture up and look out. I can't give up now. Ain't no way. I can't fix my mind to get slumped like this and get in a depression to where I'm gonna lack here and here because I got a lack here, and now I can't do the work with my hands because I don't feel like getting up and doing something. I'm gonna soak in the way I'm feeling. Now you got to get up and build, right? Whatever you think, you can create. All of this right here was just a thought at first. I couldn't even really see the whole thing, right? But I knew where I wanted to get it, and I just kept doing the work. Kept doing the work. Way before I even seen myself get in the store. Kept doing the work. So whatever you do, keep doing the work. That's it, and then it'll start to change. The situations will start to change, right? Even if you ain't got an answer for something at your time, and you looking for an answer, you wondering how, like, man, what's my next move? Because you are continuously moving, you're gonna run into the answer. Understand?
You don't have to know everything. Basically what he just said. You just got to keep moving. I couldn't have told you that I would have met a childhood friend and ended up here in his store. Couldn't have told you. I was selling light bulbs in DC, doing all the art all night. The light bulb, you turn the bottom of it, the whole light bulb came on. Couldn't look. A friend gave me a whole case of these joints. I ended up meeting him, meeting a dude named Dude. Dude introduced me to Paradise months later. 2 years later, job fires me. I'm walking up and down here selling books at the harbor. Paradise stepped out and was like, yo, I got my artwork back here. Brought me in here, so I'm gonna introduce you to the owner. I couldn't have told you this. And I started doing the artwork in the books and in prison. I didn't know none of this was gonna happen. All you have to do is keep going. You're already on the right path. I can promise you this. I told you earlier, I only meet great people. I met all of them because of my vision and because God chose us all to connect, to meet you. What you have to know is one thing, you are special. Every time they tell you that, it's you have to own it. You have to start telling yourself, wake up in the morning and tell yourself you're special. I don't care if you don't feel it. If you ain't got money, money ain't everything. You got relationships. Mm-hmm. My man told me, he said, your net worth is your net worth.
That's right. That's right.
You're a millionaire. If all of these people got money, you got money.
I keep saying,
go ahead.
Just be careful of your words. I keep just saying, your words are very powerful. Words create sound, right? Sound travels at 1,120 feet per second. Sounds produce vibrations. Mm-hmm. Vibrations move things. My daughters did an experiment with rice, and they got it from, I think it's Dr. Mosato or something, it was a Chinese dude. And he spoke good words to one jar of rice, and he spoke bad words to another jar of rice. So my daughter went to try the experiment, and she spoke beautiful words to the one jar of rice. I love you, you're so beautiful, this, that, and other. And she closed it up and labeled it good rice. Told the other jar of rice, you ugly, I hate you, this, that, and other. And she covered it up and labeled it bad rice. So about a month later, the two rice was sitting on the counter, they both looked the same. So she said, Dad, I don't think it's working. I said, well, you know. So we went away. We came about 3 months later, we just happened to look. And all of a sudden, the bad rice started getting the mold around it, right? The good rice was still like you could stick your fork in and eat it. Another month or two down the road, the bad rice started turning into like a black mud, right? The good rice was still, I'm telling you, the good rice was still there. 6 months later, the bad rice was it was dark, muddy. She went to show her friend on the block her experience. We took the rice out, put it out in the yard, the bad rice. Good rice was still on the counter. And you stick your fork in it. She went to show her friend the bad rice, how it had turned, and her friend got afraid to throw it up in the air.
Oh, God.
And it came down and busted on the ground. My daughter was like, you messed up my experience. I said, no, dear, look. That was the negativity of the words that you spoke to that rice. And the good rice was, your words are powerful. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself good things. Whatever you want to be, tell yourself you that. And you'll slowly become it, I'm telling you.
In the beginning,
the words are powerful. That's right. The word was with God, and the word was God, and the word became flesh and dwelled in my life. So talk good words to yourself. Speak powerful words to yourself every day. Like Carlos just said, every day. Say something good about you. Live stuff.
All right. So I'm 19. So I got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? I often catch myself, like, I've been fortunate through situations, like I got bumped, I went to jail before, but I got out that situation and now it's not on my record at all. But sometimes, like, if something happened in life, like, we tend to, like, sit and soak in it. Just, like, just like in a ball, like really in a ball. But the way I think about it is like a turtle, right? If a turtle, like let's say he having a bad day, so he's sitting in the shell, right? If he keeps sitting in the shell, he can't eat. If he keeps sitting in the shell, he can't go to no water. He gonna die. But if he get out of his shell and take that risk, even though somebody can be watching him and praying on him, if he get out that shell, he go get some food, go get some water. He gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? You're never supposed to sit and suck. No animal do that. And that's the most natural thing you can watch as an animal. You don't never see a bird sit in the same place for 6 days. When it get cold, the birds gonna move. When it get warm, the birds gonna move. You gotta keep moving.
How I know you special, man, because before this show took place, you came to my mind. Right? Or to anybody that I could have brought on, you came to my mind. And that wasn't nobody but God. Right? And so, and it took me back, when I thought about you, it took me back to the time when you pulled up in the car right here.
Yeah.
You was like, yo, what up, man? And it took me back to that, and that's been a little minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that right there should let you know and should solidify to you that, yo, I was chosen for this day, and I got something great to do from this whole moment, man. So it's time to just go do it, man. Whatever way you was feeling, whatever you was going through, to right now at this moment, it's new.
That's
It's
right.
new for you.
That's
It's a whole
right.
new chapter
That's right.
just turned. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Go get it, man.
That's right.
And one of the things that I see in the Nation of Islam, brothers, is, and even with me and my brother right here, being together, right, and drawing strength from one another makes you better every day, even when you slip.
That's right.
Right? So I know them brothers back there don't care, Brother Chuck, Brother Frank. Pull up on them anytime you want to.
That's right.
Pull up on us anytime.
That's right.
And if you need
Right?
us, call them.
They got my number.
They'll get my
Matter of
number
fact,
before you. Matter of fact, you got mine. Yeah, call. You going through something? You ain't in this alone.
That's
Hit
right.
us, y'all.
That's right. We depended on one another for survival. I'm sure.
No,
That's a fact.
For real,
That's a
that's
fact.
what it's getting
So,
to.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
We're
We
getting to that.
say no individual thing. We can't do it by ourselves. You know, wise man, Ambulance Mama said that no one man can rise above the condition of his people.
People are.
Either we rise together or we don't rise at all. So this is why we come to help one another. We here for each other.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Sir.
Got any last words, my man? That you want to say before we end the show? Get it. You something positive.
Yeah.
You know, share anything, but get it. You something positive too, because there's some people that's gonna be listening to this.
First, thank y'all for having me, giving me the word of wisdom.
You.
You know, I act like I'm talking to myself. Any youngin' out there that need help or just want to change, well, I really tell them, be careful of, the decisions you make, you know. There's people out there, somebody out there that care for you, you know. Just kind of drift into them and hear what they gotta say, try them out, you know. Don't be so quick to think you know everything and you got it all figured out. Nobody got it figured out, you know. Focus on yourself, you know. Don't be chasing love, chasing the image, and all that, you know. It's okay to be, you know, not whatever that is that you want to be at the time. It's a time for everything. You're going to have your moment. You know what I'm saying? So,
Give it up for Mike.
This concludes another episode of the Hot Seat. I thank everybody for coming today. Appreciate you again, my man. Shout out to my man Gadget in the back. Always on
Gadget.
Let's go. Thank you to all the guests too as well. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Thank you.
That's it.